hoping to gain here today is just really experience the day-to-day operations of being a police officer and understanding their thought process behind the actions that they take, but more specifically, is what the news saying about police officers true? No experience at all. I have no prior experience of being a police officer or even being in these type of scenarios.
What's going on, everyone? Sauce Ken here. Today we're reacting to a video with civilians and cops switching places. So I found this interesting concept because Brandon Tatum put it out there on his community tab, and I happened to see it when I was scrolling through my YouTube feed, and I thought it would be an interesting concept to cover, especially what's been going on recently in the news. There's a lot of misconceptions about, like, I don't know. I think a lot of people do. I know this phrase from football, but it's like Monday night quarterbacking. Like you have hindsight 2020 and be like, oh, you should have shot him in the leg, or you should have done this, you should have done that. But like Mike Tyson said, everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth, or in this case, until they're actually placed in this situation. And it always brings me back to this idea that to fully understand someone, you have to put yourself in their shoes. And it seems like a lot of people misunderstand the fact that if you make a cop's job harder, you ain't gonna get the best out of them. Like with any job, right? If you're a retail person and a customer's giving you a hard time, you're not gonna give them the best customer service. But hey, that's besides the point. I found this video very interesting as they're going to go through a live situation that's actually based on a real situation. That's what I like about this show. And this show, this YouTube channel is called Breaking Barriers United, I believe is what it's called. If I don't say the name correctly, I'll probably put their logo up here. I have the link in the description below if you want to watch the full video, but I'm gonna give you little snippets and I'm gonna give you my thoughts as we go through the video. So the guy right here is the first scenario that we're gonna walk through, and you're gonna get a sense of how quickly things can turn south.
Sir, excuse me, sir, excuse me, sir. What are you doing here?
Hey, man, get back.
Sir.
Get back off me, man.
What are you doing here?
Back off me, bro.
What's in your pocket?
Back off me, bro.
Do me a favor, turn around.
Back off me, bro.
Turn around, sir.
Back off me, bro. No,
sir?
watch out.
And just like that, he's gone. He clearly, I mean, I'm gonna put the video, I'm gonna put the replay here, the recap here, like the Sports Center. He's dead already. Boom. He already shot just like that. He didn't even draw his weapon yet, right? And some people, I know a lot of black people or people who are very sympathetic to criminals and their plight. So I understand that, but end of the day, it's two humans here. They don't know each other. One's trying to do his job. One's trying to figure out what's going on. The other is like, why are you detaining me? Because end of the day, a lot of people don't like cops for some reason, and especially from my community where I'm from. But end of the day, my motto is, hey, the cops don't stop you for no reason. The cops is there because they're responding to somebody. Someone called that cop there, and he's just doing his job. Just like you're just doing your job when you're doing doing groceries. People are just doing their job, right? And to give the person who's just trying to do their job a hard time, I don't see it escalating. I don't see it turning out well. Right? The guy didn't even have a chance to. I mean, he pulled out his gun after the fact, but that's the point. Criminals have to jump on you because end of the day, I learned this in basketball, and sports teach you a lot of things about life. When you're the defender, you really don't know what the player's going to do unless you, like, you know, throughout the game, you start, you know, picking up their tendencies, their little ticks and stuff. But in this situation, you only got one chance of doing it. And if someone has a family like me, like for instance, I put myself in his shoes. If I have a wife, I have my two kids, right? I'm not going to look. At the end of the day, I'm going to look at preserving myself. I'm going to try to do my job at the best of my capacity, but if I feel you're not complying, whatever, I'm gonna escalate. I'm gonna go out to protect myself first. And I say, hey, like I'll initiate force. But hey, you know, end of the day, we all think we know what we're gonna do when we're in these situations, but you really don't know. So hey, let's Brandon Tatum's gonna give him his a recap and see what he did right or what he did wrong in the scenario. Let's take a look.
I thought you did a really good job at like flanking me. If you'd have came up right behind me, directly behind me, and didn't flank to the right, you know, I was gonna attack you right there.
Yeah.
But since you flanked me, you got the jump on me. Yeah. Because I couldn't see where you were at. Because, you know, I wasn't gonna just turn around and just blindly shoot. So when you came up, you kind of came up to the right, and I'm like, where's he at? Then I had to reassess. I had to go think about, okay, if I'm gonna attack this guy, how do I want to do this?
What did it feel like to, I mean, that was a blank gun. That's the first time we used a blank gun in you could see a flame coming out. It made me nervous, bro. I mean, what did that feel like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just became even more real, right? So it's just like that idea of like, this is a real situation, and this is my first time being in any type of situation like this before. It's almost like, wait, I should have reacted. I know I should have felt that or something like that. Unfortunately, fortunately, it's fake. But you know, even in that time, it's like, you know, that's a real life situation that could happen, and it's just literally just, you know, trying to flank, trying to be more safe, but you never know.
Hey man, I think this is a great channel, man. I'll shout them out again, but it's Breaking Barriers United. That's the name of the channel, and I think they're doing a good job here, because a lot of people, it seems like for most people, they have to experience it to actually understand what someone else is going through, right? You have to walk a mile in someone else's shoes, apparently, right? But it just shows, like, when you're in the situation, all the I would have, could have, should have, it all come out. And like he said, thankfully, this was an enactment. This is just blanks. If it was a real thing, that could have been someone's life there. And I know someone's going to come in the comment section and be like, oh, what if he's unarmed and all this stuff? Look, it still plays out the same way, because at the end of the day, they can't see his hands. They don't know if he's armed or unarmed. And that's the point. It's supposed to play into the scenario. It's supposed to be realistic. And at the end of the day, it's supposed to be realistic, right? But hey, I digress. So here's the second. This is going to be a second individual, and he's going to do the same scenario, except, you know, obviously he's going to react differently. So let's take a look.
Sir, can you put your hands out? Can you pull your hands out, please? I'm not gonna ask you again. Pull your hands out of your jacket. Sir, stop walking. Pull your hands out of your jacket. Sir, pull your hands out of your jacket. I'm gonna give you one last time. Sir, pull your hands out of your jacket. Pull your hands out of your jacket. All right, sir, I told you one last time. Pull the hands out of the jacket. Up against the wall. Keep your, nope, don't turn around. Turn around, turn around. Walk towards the wall, no, turn around. Keep your back to me. Keep your back to me. Keep your back to me.
So this one played out a little bit differently. The guy already had his gun drawn, like, hey, like, this guy's not complying, right? And it puts you in the shoes, like, oh, when people are like, oh, why he already got his gun out? Man only got a knife. At the end of the day, you can't take that risk. You say, hey, like, from a safe distance, hey, I command you. If you're not complying, because a lot of the situations that end up negative with between the cop and the civilian is because the civilian is resisting arrest. That's how most of these situations go south. Same thing with George Floyd, resisting arrest. Yes, two wrongs don't make a right. It's fine. Yes, I understand that he complied and he did the non-best practices, whatever. I understand that. But, and it starts with you. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. In most cases, when these shooting unarmed or deaths under custody with cops, a lot of the factors that people have been finding is that when you don't comply with arrest, it's rare that someone is not complying and they end up like dying at the hands of police. Black on black crime does more crime. Like, you die, you're more likely to die at the hands of another black man than a cop. But the media, you know, because it's so rare, that's why it's so popular, why it's so viral, because it's rare that stuff like this happen. And when it does happen, that's why it goes viral. But when you do news on black crime, everyone's like, oh, that's normal, because it's an everyday occurrence. When things are commonly, like when things commonly happen, they don't go viral. But when something's rare that happens, it goes viral, because it's so few instances of that. People focus a lot on that. And it plays into our social media and the algorithms that we get overly exposed to, I guess, the exceptions and not the rule, right? Because the exceptions is what get attention, not the average rule or the day-to-days. But hey, I digress. Brandon Sam is going to review what this guy did right, what this guy did wrong, and then some of his thought process, and then I'll wrap up the video at the end of the clip. Let's take a look.
Knowns, you know, that's what I've talked about. You know, you walking through an alley with someone with the hands in the pocket, and you're just like, all right, what are we doing right now? You know, why are you here? What are you floating around for? And then when they're being unresponsive, I think that also, you know what I mean, continues to raise flags for me and my situation, my safety, being in the alley, especially at nighttime.
You start pulling your gun out. Did you see a weapon?
But he wasn't following command for me, so I felt like my life was at safety because he wasn't cooperating with me. I don't know what's in there. And then especially being at nighttime, like I said, it's my safety right now. When you're not cooperating with me and just not even responding, I think that's where, like I said, flags in those situations were raising for me.
Here's another part of this that can get very difficult. It's consensual contact versus an investigative stop. If a guy's just walking down the alleyway, it ain't against the law to walk down the alleyway.
100%.
He's on public property. You can give commands, you can talk to him, but at the same time, he don't have to pull his hands out of his pocket.
Right.
Unless you are detaining him and you have a reason to detain him.
Yeah, and I found this one the most insightful because because the guy did a lot of, I guess, mistakes, right? And like, oh, why you pull your gun out? Oh, he wasn't complying. And he's right to comply because sometimes, like, but I don't know. There's a lot of specifics in there, but that you guys can get full context if you watch the video in the link in the description. I think you guys should watch the video in its entirety. I really found it insightful. I really think they're doing a good job out here, really illustrating what cops go through in the day-to-day. And the way Brandon Taylor was telling them the consensual encounter and investigative stop and the differences, it makes perfect sense, right? Hey, if I'm doing my job, I got a call. Someone say, hey, there's a strange person on the alleyway pacing back and forth. I think I saw a gun, whatever. That's an investigative stop. And you have to give a reason. Hey, I'm detaining you, sir. Right? And all these people have been trained kind of on the protocol they're supposed to do. But obviously, when you're in the heat of the moment, maybe you don't do things exactly by the book. And, end of the day, we're all fallible here, right? And I just think that if we try to be more understanding of other people and what they go through, we can better find solutions that can address some of the ills or some of the conditions that a lot of people face in this society. But hey, I digress. Let me know what you guys are thinking about in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you think you would have done. Me, I'd have probably been more like scenario 2. I would have already had the gun out, maybe try to get him to comply more. I don't know, right? But I digress. We all think we know what we're going to do until we actually be put in the situation. So I can't really speculate too much on how I would react personally doing all this stuff. But I found it an interesting concept. I hope you guys too. Let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I really do appreciate you for watching to the end of the video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.